Welcome to Mobility 101. We'll start with our feet together. Hold on to your feet. You could interlace your fingers and put them around your toes. We'll sit really quite tall through our spine and move your knees up and down. So it's an easy type of movement, nothing too hard. If you notice that your body's leaning back this way, then you might need to just bring your feet a little bit more forward or walk your sit bones back a little bit. So you've got some movement. Just loosening up our hips to start with. So we'll keep going, moving them up and down. So mobility includes having some flexibility, but also working with our strength. So we're building up some strength as well as releasing tension in our muscles. So we get more range of movement in the joints. Today, working more with the hips. All right, so that's enough of that. We'll bring our feet forward and then start to lean your body forward and back. It might only be a really small movement for you. So see how it feels. You could start to increase the movement by just rocking forward, rocking back a little bit more. Or maybe you're not holding on and you're working with some strength, going to your end range. So you come forward and then back. We'll do one more of these together and then come back. Rest your hands on the floor behind you and step your feet out about as wide as your yoga mat. Start to roll your knees to one side, and you'll notice when you roll your knees that this foot's not underneath the other leg, so it's out this way. And then keep your feet on the floor, but just roll to the other edge of your foot and then roll again. So you can keep your hands behind you the whole time, and you might even work to progressing, leaning forward and rolling your knees without holding on. But today, just see how you feel. You can choose what option suits your body today. Let's keep going. We'll do a couple more of these. And we'll do one more over to the other side together and then stop here. You might need to just readjust yourself so you're sitting up quite tall. And we're working on this back knee, so we'll lift up the knee. If you can, you'll roll all the way up to your sole of your foot, and then knee comes back down. So you can put your hand on your hip and do that. We're working to 5 of these. So it's 2, 3, maybe you're not holding on at all and you're pushing into that knee at the end. 3, 4, 5, and then we'll take our knees over to the other side and do the same again. So you'll roll up onto the knee, bring it down. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. We'll do a second set. So come over to the other side again. When you first start doing this, you might notice that your knee just lifts a little bit, but if you are consistent, it's amazing. Your body will just start to unlock in its own time, but just 10 minutes a day is all it'll take. We'll do one more of these together and then take your knees over to the other side. Last set. And rolling up onto your foot and then back down again. 1, 2, 3, 4. Last one. 5. All right, how about we stay like this, but just stretch out this leg, so you'll have to lift it up, slide it out, bring this foot in. We'll take this hand down, and maybe it's your right hand, and then press into your shin and reach up and over, but feel like you're pushing up through the hip and then lower back down again. We'll do that 2 more times. So the extended leg foot is going to be flat on the floor, so you'll press it down, and then reach up through your other arm and then come down. That's 2. 1 more. Up. And down. And then we switch to the other side. I like to breathe in when I'm going back and up. It just makes you feel a bit more spacious. So one hand down, the other arm lifts. Press into your hand, your shin. Inhale. And then exhale and come down. Breathe in and lift up. And breathe out and come down. 1 more, inhale up. And exhale, come all the way down. Well done. We'll come over onto our hands and knees. This is hip circles, which I love doing this, especially at the beginning of a yoga class, but we'll move our hips all the way over one way. You might even notice a stretch already, just even shifting your weight all the way into that side, and then move across to the other side. If you find it hard to kneel on your knees, you could put a cushion in underneath or a folded blanket. And then let's start to circle them, so you'll go across to one side and then sit back towards your heel, and then around and up. Builds up a bit of upper body strength as well. We'll go around and down towards one heel, across to the other, and then up to one hand, hand over to the other hand. Again. And then we'll stop there and move in the opposite direction, so coming back and down. And you'll sit back just as far as you can go. Maybe you're not touching your heels just yet. And that's okay. All the way back. Now we'll take our hands off the floor. Step your right foot forward. I'm going to do the first set facing this side so you can see what's happening, and then I'll face you to see the other side. But if you bring your hands onto your hips and then lunge forward, you should have your knee still tracking over your ankle there. So if your foot is back here, this is what you'll see, or it'll feel like a really big stretch there. We're not working on that. So take a step forward and then lunge into it where your knee still is in line with your ankle. So we'll keep our shoulders back. If you activate your glute, you might get even a bit more of a stretch through the flexor there. And then we're going to back out of it a little bit and then press back into it. If you notice this is a lot on your lower back, lean forward. Yeah, otherwise just stay upright. 3 more. 2. 1. Now the next one, we step the foot out to the side just a little bit with your foot turned out to the side. So it looks like this. And then you lunge over to the side and come back. All right, so we're staying on the same side, the same right leg. 2, 3, 4, 5. Then we take that foot all the way out to the side now, so your toes are pointing out to the side, and you lunge across. You could put your hand on your knee for support. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. Elbow comes down to your knee. You can keep your back hand on your hip, or you could lift it up. Sometimes even bringing your hand down to the floor might give you the stretch that you need. If you feel like you're holding your breath though, bring your hand back down to your hip. Stay here and breathe. We'll lower both of our hands to the floor. Turn the toes forward now of that right foot and slide it out as far as you can go comfortably. Maybe you're even coming down to bring your elbows to the ground. I still like to move in this stretch, so if you roll back, sitting back towards your heel, you might notice that your toe lifts up, and then bring your toe back to the floor and rock forward 5 times. 4, 3, 2, and 1. We'll come up onto our hands, bring our knee back in, and come up. Now we move to the other leg. So step your left foot forward, although this time I'm going to turn and face you with my left foot forward, and then lunge forward, and then come back. So we're lunging forward to get a stretch down through the flexor, glute muscle is switched on, and then back, and forward, back. That's it. And 1 more. Good job. Again, you could have something underneath your knee if you need it. All right, let's come back. We'll step that foot slightly out on a diagonal line, and then the knee is always tracking in the same line as the toes. You don't want your knee rolling in. It will come out to the side and then back. step the foot out to the side now, like we did on the other side. And then lunge into it and back for 5, 4, 3, 2, and last one, holding this one, or you could bring your elbow down. Now your hand can stay on your hip. You want to still make sure that you can breathe quite comfortably here. But if you want a little bit more from this, you could lift your arm in the air or bring your hand down towards the floor. Nice, easy breath. We're just staying here for a couple of breaths. And then bring your hand down to the floor. We'll turn to face forward, so turn that foot in, toes turned in. And if you'd like a little bit more of a stretch for the inner thigh, you'd slide that leg further out. And maybe you need to bring your elbows down to the floor to feel the stretch. From here, we sit back towards the heel as far as we can. It's okay to roll up onto your toe or your heel, toes up, and then come back. We'll do 5 of those. 3, 4, 1 more, 5. Come up onto your hands, heel toe your foot in, bring your knees in underneath you, lifting yourself all the way up. Place your hands just on your lower back here to support you. Activate the glutes a little bit, push your hips forward, and then come back. Hands to the floor, round your spine in a cat stretch, and then sit back towards your heels. Rock across your shins side to side a little way. You could bring your elbows in. Just rocking across your hips. And coming up. Well done today. If you would like to experience another level up after this, or just another hip mobility video, please reach out and I'll send one to you. Namaste.